Hi all. Can I get my phone? Is he on? Oh, okay. Get back. Okay, I'm waiting for Dr. Tucker to get back on. Okay, here he is.
Here,
Celery
there I
Juice.
am. Hi there.
Hi.
And we're back, part
Okay.
two.
Yes. Okay, this is just a question. So is celery juice good?
I hate questions. Is this good? I don't use good or bad. I want to, I want whoever asked the question to come to the office, get a continuous glucose meter, and drink celery juice and tell me if it makes your blood glucose go up. If it makes
Yes.
your blood glucose go up, it's not going to help you achieve your goals. If it keeps it flat, then celery
Then
juice is good. But your celery juice being good doesn't make it my celery juice being good. We
that's
all
true.
respond differently to exactly the same food based on our gut bacteria.
Okay, so the continuous glucose meter is those patch meter.
The Libre, yeah.
Yeah, so you
Yeah, it
put it
goes on
on
your
your
arm.
hand, and then
Uh-huh.
you can check it all the time to see
24/7.
what food actually tweaks and spike your insulin and or glucose, and
Yep.
that's how you actually know whether, I mean, to check on yourself, to check food, how
Yeah.
how 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 you process, how your body processes food. Okay,
Right.
that's how I'm
It's
gonna
not is
say.
it good, it's is it
No,
good for you?
yes,
And what's
how
good
your
for
body
you
actually
might not be
process.
good for me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was the other question just now? I am lost now. Oh, she is on. I think she is Shamshul. I think she has gastric, and how would she fast on gastric?
Slowly? No, I don't know. Gastric is vague, but I think that fasting, I mean, first of all, I've never met someone who doesn't fast. Everyone, everyone is good at fasting. It's called going to sleep,
Yeah.
right? And your first meal of the morning is called break fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so if you fasting has a lot of benefits, and there are different kinds of fasting. Aside from just the idea of like 5-2 and intermittent fasting or 16-8, there's one meal a day, which is a kind of fasting. There's water fast, dry fast, fasting mimicking diet. There's all sorts of fasting. But and the benefits of fasting vary based on circumstance. Um, Long fasts, like 3 to 5 days, are really, I'll speak, what's the, uh, provocatively. Think of it as stem cell rejuvenation.
Yes.
Okay. So doing a long water fast or even a modified fasting mimicking diet, when you fast for 3 to 5 days like that, you're tricking or moving your stem cells, which are old. They're the great grandma cells. You're pushing them to replicate and die. Get rid of the old stem cells and make new, young, rejuvenated stem cells. And the medical term for that is called autophagy, AUTOPHAGY, autophagy. And that is stem cell rejuvenation. Shorter fasts, the advantage of just doing 16-8 or a 5-2 is actually just caloric reduction. There are a lot of studies, my favorite study, women with breast cancer who fast for more than 13 hours overnight are less likely to have their breast cancer come back than women who fast less than 13 hours overnight. I think that everybody should fast 14 hours. Give your stomach, your gut a rest. 14 hours every day. I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, like at least 5 days a week, stop eating at 8 p.m. and don't eat until 10 a.m. That's 14 hours. Frankly, if you go to 10 a.m., just limit your window of eating from noon to 8 p.m. It's that simple. Nobody needs to wake up and eat something. You do not need energy. You're not a car. You don't have an empty tank. It's not like you're laying in your bed. I can't move. Somebody put a banana in my mouth, right? It's like,
That's very true.
right. And I'll tell you the
Yes.
one thing that makes me nuts. I don't understand why most people need to eat before they go to the gym. That's
Oh,
crazy. Everybody should be unless you're an amateur, a pro amateur athlete, triathlete, elite cyclist, or a professional. Trust me, you don't need to eat before you go to the gym. We
yep.
can talk about eating after the gym to, refresh your muscles and prevent injury, but you do not need energy to go to the gym. If you need energy to go to the gym, you're working the whole thing backwards. You'll get more energy if you don't eat
Don't eat.
before the
Yep.
gym. Yeah. But drink,
Yes.
hydrate a lot. Yep.
Okay. Next question from Tani Harmoko. What is the cause of autoimmune diseases? Should they be on keto?
Two questions. I do not know the cause of autoimmune disease. If I did, I'd get a Nobel Prize. Um, autoimmune diseases, I mean, you're talking about a highly stimulated immune system that finds your body to be foreign. And our suspicion is that the combination of your diet and genetics, processed food, and gut bacteria are driving your immune system, putting your immune system in overdrive. And the way to manage that is an elimination diet. I don't want to discourage medicines and the medical approach. We would take what people call lifestyle medicine approach, which is to say, take your medicines, change your lifestyle, and you can begin to decrease your medicines while you improve your lifestyle. And there's this cross point. But low carb, keto, carnivore, modified keto, fasting mimicking diet, all really good for autoimmune disease to reduce your reliance on medicines and potentially eliminate those. We had someone in the office earlier this week with a significant autoimmune disease, and I recommended carnivore, or at least modified carnivore, and their goal is to get off the chemotherapy drug that they're taking for their autoimmune
Oh,
disease. So we often use chemo drugs in a low dose for lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and some other conditions. And she doesn't want to take the drugs. And so I said, change your diet. And it's the same thing about reducing while sort of improving the diet. And I realized this is exactly what we do for diabetic reversals. Right now, I'm managing a few people who are on insulin, some you even know who you've asked me to help with, and we're changing their diet and getting them really, I would say even quite aggressively, getting them off insulin onto oral diabetes drugs. And most people don't know or think that they think once you're on insulin, that's forever. And that's not the case. And so being an adult onset diabetic is being intolerant of carbohydrates. If somebody was gluten intolerant, we wouldn't tell them to take insulin and eat gluten.
no.
And yet, adult diabetes is carbohydrate intolerance, and we tell them to take drugs and eat what you want. But nobody says, if you stop eating the carbs, you don't need the drugs. But the autoimmune condition is the same. So, and I know my friends at the company Virta Health in the US who do digital diabetes reversals at scale. They deal with diabetes, but we're doing the same in smaller numbers for autoimmune disease. And it's pretty fascinating, the analogy there, to me at least. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Next question. I think we
Next
can
question.
this be the last?
Where's the next location for a seriously keto bake shop? Novena by my office?
We should, huh? Yes.
We should. We should.
Yes. Um, we are waiting for our what do you call it? Central kitchen. So once that's up, we can get the license. And once that license in my hand, I can actually go to supermarket. I can go anywhere. So it's not only one, it's island-wide.
Somebody was asking me today, can we get your stuff at like American Club or Tanglin or SICC?
Not yet, but you can always call them online and can get them anywhere island-wide too. Yes.
Nice. Okay, your turn.
Okay. Last question, I think. How does sugar plays into high blood pressure?
That's a good question. Um, it goes back to this idea of what's the root cause. And so if there's some people with high blood pressure, you could be, a perfectly lean body, so-called normal BMI, athletic, and have high blood pressure. You could also be obese and never met a donut you didn't like, a high blood pressure. And so obesity and diabetes and metabolic disease, fatty liver, are a huge driver of inflammation and cardiovascular disease, which includes high blood pressure. So in that case, sugar is the root cause. And I would guess that the vast majority of high blood pressure or contributions to high blood pressure come from these metabolic problems. So sugar is the root of all evil in that story. But the reason I use this 80-20 approach, I think about it in oncology because in cancer, we've gone through these phases. Cancer's been around 4,000 years that we've documented. And scientists have argued it was the carcinogenic theory, it was the infectious theory, it was the somatic or genetic theory. And the theory that makes the most sense for me is what we call the metabolic theory, which is about glucose changing energy metabolism. It's the equivalent of like burning coal in your cells as opposed to being solar. And if you have bad genetics, burning coal is going to make your genetics fire up. But if you have bad genetics and you're using solar, it doesn't eliminate the chance of cancer genetically, but it reduces the chance. And the same thing is true with other metabolic conditions. And again, this is why I like 80-20. There are some people that have high blood pressure we can't explain. They do everything right. They've followed every rule and plan and guideline, and it's a actual inherited, poorly understood disease. But 80% of us, we suffer from and die from preventable disease. Yeah.
Preventable disease.
Preventable disease. Absolutely. Yeah. Most of what we're suffering from, most of what we're paying for, most of what we're suffering side effects from are all preventable. That's for sure. And so as we finish that, I think the most important thing is that everybody understands this is not rocket science. That you are in charge of your own health based upon what you put in your mouth. That you have, you can define your health. I can show you, a nutritionist can show you, a fitness guru, a shopkeeper, an entrepreneur, anybody who's been down this road can show you the path. And the most important part, define your health, know the path, but give yourself, the term is the agency, the power, empowerment, that you can do this. And you started, somebody at the beginning of the talk, you said somebody thanked me for doing this. And I said, no, they did it. We just showed them the path. We don't do anything other than cheerlead and, and to take you off medication. That's what we do. Yeah.
Yep.
This was fun. So we're gonna do it next week too?
Yes. Yes, actually we are.
Yeah.
So before we
Let
go,
me know when.
let me announce this. So next month, October, is the month of the breast cancer awareness.
Breast Cancer
So
Awareness Month in
yes,
Singapore. Yes.
so the Breast Cancer Foundation has invited Dr. Taka and myself to do a webinar on the 3rd of October
Yep.
at 10:30 Singapore time.
Saturday. Yes, Saturday morning.
Saturday
Absolutely.
morning at on the 3rd. Yes. Okay.
It's
Thank
gonna
you
be good. We're
so
gonna talk
much.
about fasting. It's gonna be so good. Everyone should join.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Tucker. Thank you for
Thank
your time.
you.
Thank you
See
for
you
talking
guys.
to us.
This was great. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.